and guess what? His passport got stolen. Nigeria should not happen to you, my loves. Moving out of your country is hard enough. Moving out without a plan is like the worst thing you would do to yourself. So on this video, I want to be talking about that. What we did, when we started, how the whole journey went. If that's something you're interested in, then keep watching. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I don't know why I always have that face. Every time I start a video, I always have that face. It's like, why the face? It's cringy. Anyway, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tammy and I'm a YouTuber, Nigerian YouTuber, or I'm a Nigerian based in Germany. And on this channel, we talk about schooling abroad, living abroad, travel, and the OGs will say, and all the other extras, guys. So if that's the kind of content that you like, then quickly hit the subscribe button and like this video if you enjoy the content. Of course, like it after you've consumed the content. I'm not biased. I'm not going to tell you to like it beforehand. I need to know that you enjoyed the video before liking it. Anyways, to the OGs, welcome back, guys. Welcome, 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 welcome. So today's video is kind of like different-ish. And what's happening today, from the title, you already know. Today I'll be talking about the whole journey from, Nigeria, moving from Nigeria to the UK, moving from pretty much relocating to the UK, how I Purplebook.ng. So if you don't know, I'm the lead education consultant of Purplebook.ng, and what we do is that we help Nigerians and Africans move abroad. So if you want to move abroad for study pathway only, we don't handle job applications. We of course can give you advice on the kind of websites to check, how to navigate through the system, but that's not really what we do. We basically focus on the educational pathway because that's where we have our expertise. So having said that, we handled my brother's relocation to the UK, and on this video I want to be talking about that, what we did, when we started, how the whole journey went. If that's something you're interested in, then keep watching. Oh, I do have a few clips from him. He's not a YouTuber. He doesn't have a YouTube channel. He doesn't even post on his social media. So when I told him to make some videos about the process, my guy was doing portraits. My guy did portrait for me. So since I can't just post those videos outrightly, you and I will be watching the videos together, and I'll just, give you the gist. So this is going to be like a story time thing, and of course you are going to be seeing him flying. Well, this is not his first time moving out. No, this is not his first time traveling out, so I don't think you're going to see all that excitement of being on a plane for the first time, traveling abroad for the first time, and all that stuff. But anyway, this is the first time he's studying abroad, so sit down, get your pen. I don't know, do you even need a pen? It's just gist, but it's a lot of there's a lot of information that you'll be needing, so get your pen and let's dive right into it. Also, if you're wondering why I'm dressed like this, the weather is cold. Actually, after saying the weather is cold and I looked at the weather, I don't know if I want to tell you guys. It's only 17 degrees, but I don't know why I feel so cold. That's why I'm dressed like this. So, bear with me and my homeless look. And let's dive right into it. So if you're wondering, I'll be using my laptop to look at the video, so I wouldn't really be looking at the screen like I would, and the videos will be attached here, so you would also be watching the videos with me. So having said that, I'm not sure where the first part of the video is, so I'm just going to try to find the first part. There's a lot of airport runs. Like, this boy literally just recorded himself at the airport because, guy, why? 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 Okay, so again, he's not a YouTuber, so if you're seeing this, you basically just know that this guy was just recording the airport. I don't know what I needed to do with the airport, but his whole process was of course smooth. I'm talking airport, the whole new thing with checking for your proof of funds when you arrive at the country. That was something that he wasn't asked for, so he just basically moved smoothly, and passed through immigrations and all that stuff. So this was my guy chilling on the plane, saying, babe, I'm about to move. I'm moving. I'm about to fly. I don't even know why I'm just sounding like this. But yeah, so that was him. This was him chilling and showing me what the plane looks like. Like, bruh, let's keep it moving. So he got to, anybody who travels knows that this is Turkey, because it's like our Nigerian's extension. If you travel through Turkey, you would just be like, is this Nigerian airport? Because there are a lot of Nigerians that like, it's like every Nigerian passes through that airport. And I don't know why, but I pass through it too. So yeah, I'm with the numbers, or among the numbers. Anyway, so okay, at this point now, this was a really lovely video, which I kind of would have expected him to stop our portrait, but my guy just turned the whole thing. Like, is this portrait? Is this what? Guy, what are you doing? This was when he arrived. Like, he arrived Edinburgh. I needed to show. Trust me, I do this too. Like, when I went to Edinburgh, I made sure I showed everybody the name of the place. I think this was the moment he saw my sister when she came to pick him, and he looked excited. Or I don't even know why does he have that smirk on his face? Why? Why does he have that smirk on his face? Anyway, okay. So I'm just gonna let all these other extra videos play while I tell you what happened. So we applied to different universities for him, and these universities were in different parts of the UK, but London and like Scotland, England and Scotland. We applied to different universities for him. We also even applied to universities in France, in Germany. Like, we were ready anywhere. Like, we were really ready, and we put in a lot of work. And this took us about a year to finish up the whole process. So as at 2021 August, that was when he wrote his IELTS. So he was like, see, if you want to do this, then the best thing for you to do is write IELTS, because you're not gonna like not write IELTS and then we are stuck with looking for universities that do not ask for IELTS or do not require IELTS. So if you're watching this and you're thinking about studying, one of the first things for you to do is write your IELTS, because I'm not saying that you cannot find universities that don't require IELTS. I'm only saying that you get to reduce your options, because what if there's a university that you like, price wise is amazing, it's in the city that you want, everything, but then they require IELTS, so you're going to miss out on that opportunity, right? No, you wouldn't. So that's one of the major things. That was the first thing I told him. I said, write your IELTS. So he wrote his IELTS, got the result out, and then it was time to start the process. Now, before now, I had told him to prepare his transcripts and everything, and I basically walked through. This is what we do for all of our clients. So this has nothing to do with the fact that he's my brother. This is how we navigate the system. So I made sure that his motivation letter, statement of purpose, everything was, right, grammatically, academically, everything looked good. We did some back and forth. Like, he would send me this copy, I'd look at it, and if I was not comfortable with how it looked or the wordings, we would of course discuss, like, more ways that he could write it, better ways that he could write it. And then we did that back and forth for a while. And after we had gotten the perfect versions for each of these universities, it was now time to, check the other documents. So his certificates, his transcript, reference letters from his place of work. If you have work experience, even if it's a little as 6 months, you need to get a reference. If you're leaving any company, make sure you get a reference letter from them before you leave. This is very important, because as at the time that you might need your reference letter, it could have been 1 year from the time you were there, or the company would have closed down. It could be anything, and you want to make sure that you've backed that document, because that document sort of proves that you really do have this work experience. So it's not just saying you have work experience, it's saying I have it and this is what I can show for it. And typically your reference letter somehow covers your beginning date and your end date. So if it's the day that you are leaving that they sign that, the stamp and date would be the end date. Then they would always write this employee started working with us from this time. So in case you're trying to get a reference letter and they are not putting when you started and you see it, please make sure you tell them to do it, because this is also something that we check in your documents to make sure that you have the right information and it's the right format. Now, having said that, so once that was sorted, we now started to apply to different universities. So we now checked all the universities that we wanted, the countries that we wanted, what the budget was, what the price range was, and all of the requirements that we had gotten to be sure that we had everything. And then deadline. So we also checked what the deadline was, and then we started sending applications, from the one that had the shortest, earliest deadline to the one that the deadline was, further away. So we sent all of this by I think, January. So by January, February, I think, we were done sending out all of the applications, and all we were doing was just waiting. Now, January, February 2022, all we were doing was just waiting for the verdict. So we waited for the verdict. While waiting for the verdict, we needed to ensure that, every other thing was sorted, like, living expenses, doing more research on the different cities and how, like, you can basically, like, how much you need to spend per month for rent and all this other stuff. And then the verdict came in. I think the verdict came in like March. I can't remember specific dates, but I think verdict started coming in March. And then we had to, like, okay, decide on which of the schools that we were going to go with. And we picked one of them. So we picked one of them in March, and then accepted the admission, and it was time to pay the deposit fee. So which was obviously the school that he went to, and then it was time to pay deposit. Now this was March, so by April we had accepted admission, and then we needed to send we needed to pay deposit and then send the documents, the statement of account for them to issue his cars. So that we of course now had to get that ready, and then so if this is another thing, if you also want us to help you to pay your fees because of the situation of things in Nigerian banks, you can of course send us the money as well, and then we would pay for you. So that was kind of what I did. I paid the fees directly from my German account to the UK account, and then once that was sorted, we sent the bank statement, of course not my bank statement, his bank statement, because his bank statement that was required, not mine, regardless of the fact that he was my brother, or he is my brother. So we sent that, and then after that, we then waited for the cast. The cast came in by like May. We had gotten the cast and everything. Now the next step was to book for visa appointment. Now I didn't realize that visa appointment dates were like so hard to get and so far off. I thought like that the countries that were having that issue were like Germany and some other European countries. I didn't realize the UK had that issue as well. So we sort of like had to wait for like a visa date and all that, and I think we finally got one. We got one in like August. No, actually I think we got one for July, and guess what? His passport got stolen. Nigeria should not happen to you, my loves. That's my prayer. Pray that Nigeria should never happen to you. He went to the office, kept his stuff like in the car, and then like outside the court in Abuja. Like, these people have mind, and they went, broke the car, broke the glass, and then stole stuff inside the car. So my dear, his passport was among those things. So now this was where the heat started. We started looking for how to do express passport, and then we started the process of like, trying to get express passport. What should we do? How should we go about it? Luckily, we found the right contact. I think it was in like Kano. I think he had to go to a northern state, I think Kano, to do that passport. So if you're thinking of getting fast passport and maybe you live in Abuja, the best place for you to go to is like Kano or Kaduna. That's just like, that's a tip for you. So he got the passport in the space of a week or a couple of days, and then we had to like reschedule his visa interview date. And not just that, because now this was a new passport, we had to send it to the university, send the police report, send the new passport to let them know that, so the old passport is no longer in use, this is the new passport, and they had to change the passport details on their system and on the card, so they had to issue a new card. So now we had to wait for the school to do that. This thing, I think it took like 2 weeks for these people to respond and do everything. Like, it was something. All this time, like, I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I thought this was going to be smooth because we planned everything early enough, started on time. Now this was August, which is again 1 year from the time he wrote IELTS. So when I tell you people start your abroad process early enough, people feel like you're just exaggerating. Anything can come up, anything can happen. So the earlier you start your process, the better for you, especially when it comes to all this visa part. So anyway, he got the passport and it was time to get a new visa appointment, and he got that in I think in August, right? Or still July. He was lucky enough to get in July as well. And that was pretty much how He went for the interview, and then we started waiting. So the wait began. We waited and waited and waited and waited. I think his took about 4 weeks or close to 5 weeks. But then his visa came out. It was approved. Now it was time to find flight ticket. My dear, I don't know if they did not tell you. You better know now. Flight ticket. You see, when you are ready to leave ASAP, flight ticket, they cost. It's expensive. So we now found, I think it came out in September. So I think early September was when his visa came out. Early September was when his visa came out. So we were trying to find, because his school was also supposed to resume in September. So now we're trying to find a flight ticket for like the next 2 weeks. The prices were crazy. Anyway, we finally got like a reasonable price for like first week of October, and then immediately booked it. Yeah, it was Turkish Air. I would always advise you, like, if you're traveling from Nigeria, to take Turkish Air, not because it's like the cheapest. Well, it's actually very affordable, but also because of the layover. Like, you don't have to spend money if you're traveling. Like, you don't have to do a Turkish transit visa if you're also going to be traveling from the same airport. But if you're traveling through Frankfurt or using Lufthansa, I heard that you now have to get like a transit Schengen visa. So instead of, doing all that to cut the stress out of the whole situation, just directly get Turkish Air, and you can fly, to Nigeria without having to get a visa, like a transit visa, not a UK visa. Let's get that straight. So anyway, so that's pretty much what happened. And then this was like first week of October, and my guy landed. So he's currently in the UK right now. It's been about a month-ish, and yeah, he's studying for his master's. I'm actually really excited that that pulled through. It was a 1-year journey, but I'm happy that we got to the finish line, and all that was sorted. But that's pretty much what this video is all about, just telling you how long and the different like bumps that we went through, the struggles, and of course the good side of it. So if you're on this journey, this is what I would advise you to do. Start early, right? Once you start, make sure that your passport is intact, because anything can happen. Like, imagine we weren't able to get like an express passport, whatever. What would have happened? Like, we would have just been here waiting, because I'm hearing that there's no booklet. So you are going to wait for months, and he cannot resume after like a certain period of time. So that would have been like done. 1-year journey would have just ended like that. So make sure that your passport, all your documents, in fact, are kept in check. When you're ready to travel, make sure you go with your original and photocopy of your document, because you don't know which of the documents you might need during your journey. I'm not talking about the flight. I'm talking about when you get to the country, maybe documents you need to apply for a job or to renew your visa. There are certain documents that you might not need in the first stage that you would need later. So go with all your documents. So that's like the third thing. The fourth thing I'll tell you, which is like the major most important thing, is that you should have a plan. What is your plan? Do you intend to stay back in the country and work? Do you intend to move to another country to work? Do you intend to further, like maybe on a PhD level if you're going for a master's, or if you're going for a bachelor's, do you want to continue to a master's level? You need to have a plan. Moving out of your country is hard enough. Moving out without a plan is like the worst thing you would do to yourself. So you need to have a plan, because a lot of money goes down into this. A lot of time, dedication, resources. You don't want to put all this and not have a plan, right? So that's like the major things that I would have to say, and I expect that you take away from this video. And I think that's pretty much where we come to the end of this video. That being said, I think that's pretty much the end of this video. So if you like this, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Oh, don't forget to watch other videos, because there's so much information on this channel that you need to watch. Like, you definitely need to watch them. Anyway, thank you, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.